So here we are, here's a shed Gary built. I'm not really into me football anymore, but I did find this. So don't all start chucking stuff at me at once. Let's have a look, take this bottom padlock off, swing the door open. And what I tend to do is, I just tend to grab hold of that. It's like a balancing act, this. Foot on the door, there like that. And then get that on there, tie that back by that, and it stops it from swinging open. So like you say, I don't do DIY, and I've had the grateful help of my wife. I got the shelving off a good mate at work, Bill Haley. He had a couple of spare shelves. Gratefully appreciated there, Bill. Yeah, so we needed organising, because everything in here was on the floor. Everything you can see there was on the floor. So got the usual tools all the gardeners have. Yeah, snips, spears, cutters, forks, spades, and a bin and a heater that never gets used. And so the story that goes with the rotavator, this was owned by my father, Mr. Ted Russell, Edward John Russell, who passed away a few years ago, and I've kept it, had it serviced every year, and loved it, looked after it. I don't really try and lend it out anymore, because it always comes back worse than what I lent out. I stripped it apart and took the rotavator blades off and everything, chromed them up. Got it serviced at Dennis Barnfield's at Bolton-le-Sands there, near Morecambe. They basically do like all gardening equipment. And they serviced it for me, and they looked after it for me. And to be honest to these guys, as soon as I said when it was my dad's, they just took it off me, give it a full service, checked all the cabling, the engine and everything. And it's like brand new, and I don't think I'll ever part with it. So a lot of these tools here came off my mum and Harry. Harry was my stepdad. He passed away just before Christmas last year. And gardening tools I can play with, but I can't do spanners, as I said, DIY. I've got everything there I need now, everything there, and I keep it up there quite proudly in remembrance of Harry and my father. And this has all been quite organised really well. Shelving and that, everything put up there by Claudia. This is part of the racking. And so, there we go. If I just step back a bit, you can see other stuff that I've got here. More shelving, racking. But I've got additives under there. I've got potassium, nitrogen stuff down there, garden lime, chicken pellets, as you can see there, soil additives there just to boost up your soil, sulphate of potash as well. I'm not really big into that, like some are good for cucumbers, some are good for potatoes, and you want to boost it up that way. Got some Irish moss peat. Now you see everything these days, this is peat free, so I'm going to go the other way. I like to be different like that. I'm going to put some peat in some stuff and see where we get to, see if it does any good, because they reckon, and I've heard on these other YouTube channels, that because nothing's got peat in it anymore, when you're germinating your seeds and all that lot, that's why they're struggling to germinate. Whether that's true or not, again, you know, come on, let's get some information together. You know, I don't know everything. I like top tips. I like people that share information and be kind to each other as well. That's the big thing about my channel. I don't want people coming on here going, that's not right, this is right, you do this, you do that. I want people coming on sharing information and being kind and trying to find a bit of kindness out there. That's the problem with, you know, you get these different channels and all like that, and people can't wait, keyboard warriors, to put up a fight, you know. Saturday night, tap, 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 and there they go, you know. So, not interested in anything like that. So if you're thinking about coming on the channel, you're looking for an argument, please go elsewhere. Just because I have no time, and I won't have a point of view for it anyway. So looking at this stuff as well, this is Wormcast as well. So there's a big company in Morecambe. I did say I weren't going to promote companies, didn't I? Well, that's where I get most of this from, to be honest. So it's a company called Elixir Garden Supplies. Yeah, I've known Elixir since they were in a little unit, like 2 or 3 people, and now they're a multi-million-pound company on a big Whiteland estate in Morecambe there. And these guys are really professional, polite, will give you information, tell you what the best products are, ask you what you're doing. And there's a lot of people there at Elixir Garden Supplies that have contributed to this, and this is why the flowers do so well and everything. So yeah, Elixir Garden Supplies. They sell on eBay. They're easy to find. They're in Morecambe. If you're local in Morecambe, you know, they'll even let you turn up and just collect your stuff yourself. Saves on postage as well. And any problems with anything, they just swap it, and they give good advice. So anyway, that's enough about people and who they are and businesses and all that lot, because that's not what I'm here for. I better hide that, because that's like painting and work, isn't it? We don't want that. We want to get rid of that, don't we? Yeah, we like growing. So yeah, so that's a bit about the stuff in the shed that's just been built. So here we have the greedy bird food. Where'd I get that? On one of your usual quick buy it now things on eBay or Amazon, whatever you want to call it. Got some peanuts and some fat balls there. But the minute, I tell you honestly, there's a fat pigeon out there. There really is. And he's proper winking at me and going, what have you got? What have you got? Any pudding? Any pudding? And I'm like, Jesus, mate, I've only just filled it up. So yeah, I was telling my mum about it. So yeah, so here we have some usual stuff. We've got some tamarite there for the tomatoes. Not everybody's favourite. I don't want to cause any controversial arguments or anything, you know. Slug pellets, can't believe you've got slug pellets, Andy. Oh God. You know, it's the same as a weed killer. That, you know, I can't believe you got weed killer. So anyway, there's a few bits and bats. That's all I've got in the shed. Nothing really to shout home about, but a few bits and pieces that'll get me out of trouble if I need it. So yeah, so there's the allotment again. Like I said, it's even been raining today. So there we are. So I don't put anything in the ground at all now, and it's helped me so much. Not by, you know, digging or putting things in the ground. So if you are struggling with mobility and you know, whether it's your back or your legs, or you feel like you're on a sand timer and you run out of time because the pain's kicking in, because this is basically what happens to myself. I can do so much down here, then I just get pain all over, and it takes me a couple of hours to sort myself out. But I enjoy it. I you know, it's my come away. You know, I like it. So that's so next thing we're going to talk about is the greenhouses. Like I said to you before, it's early days yet. You know, we're only halfway through June at the moment, and we've established that I like growing flowers. So I'm going to be quick at the moment going over things, because this is like a brand new channel for me, and I've never really done this before. So again, you know, oh my god, that fence needs creosoting, don't it? I'll try not to show that anymore. Right, anyway, moving into the greenhouse. So then, the only things I like growing are really tomatoes, cucumbers and lettuce. There's no point in growing something that you're not going to eat or you're just going to throw away. So the last 2 years I've been growing tomatoes, and they're called Kimberley. So I bought them from a shop, and I took them home. I saw that they were called Kimberley, and they were so tomatoey. I couldn't believe how tomatoey they were. Basically, all I can say is they tasted lovely. So this is what I go for again this year. So me bending down and creaking like a good one. So there's my tomatoes. They're all Kimberley. There's no other ones. People like growing different tomatoes. You can grow what you like. You know, I always used to grow like Italian plum tomatoes for Claudia, because her family's Italian, and just out of respect, it's something that I like doing. And again, we've got a few chilli plants here. Being totally open and honest, I've grown a load of chilies, and I don't know which ones they are yet. So, any clever people out there? Some of them will be pepper plants as well. So again, we've got some chili plants here growing. Look at these, Bobby Dazzlers. I've had to spray them all with some bug repellent, because they got, well, first of all, it was like, they were like little brown things, little brown flies, brown aphids, are they? I don't know. So yeah, so soil might not be so good in that one, because they're not growing very tall on a comparison to these lot here. They were all put in at the same time. I mean, look at these. These are firing away, these. And in this soil, some of this soil has got that worm cast in it from Elixir Garden Supplies, as you can see how black it is here, yeah. Oh, look at that soil. Oh, yeah. Mr. Bellamy, you can get your fingers in there, mush that all about, and that, get that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh. Anyway, enough of that. So, again, over here, so this is a backup, just a backup tray, a little bit of lettuce, a few, you know, a couple of Kimberley tomatoes there, lettuce, look at that, that's beautiful, that, isn't it? So there, again, respect to Italians, Rosso, red Italian lettuce. So more tomato plants, they're coming on nicely. Again, look at that, not very big, are they? So lettuce backup of lettuce plants here. Oh look, that's a nice one, isn't it? Look at that. So anyway, and we've got some tomatoes going there, so they're doing all right, aren't they? So they're going to need sticking soon. So once these start rising and getting a bit taller, I'll put these sticks in here. See these sticks? And then what I'll do is I'll start using a bit of string and then attaching them as we go along. And they'll get taller and taller, but the main frame will be on this stick here. And then they'll get so tall. When they get about tall up here, I don't cut them down or anything anymore. Just let it go like a jungle. It looks like Jumanji in here. And like, you know, just gets... You'll see later on when I do some more videos later on. Later on in the year, particularly when you get to first week in September, you can't really move in here. Because I've got like chilies and peppers and all sorts going mad. So we'll just go have a look into the second greenhouse. So as you can see here, we have a load of cucumbers and a load of chilies and a load of peppers. And to be honest, these are Market More cucumbers, the ones with the spikes on, if you want to know which ones they are. Market More cucumbers. And that's it, that's each bucket there. So, just some interesting information on cucumbers, right? Now this again I learnt off YouTube, and I'll tell you what, I've been growing stuff for 25 years, right? Look at this Bobby Dazzler on the end, look at that, that's fantastic that. It's only early days, so that'll be getting tied up soon, right? I couldn't understand why I wasn't very good at growing cucumbers. I couldn't get my head around it. I was doing everything right, I was changing the soils, I wasn't watering them too much, you know, I was just keeping the soil nice and damp. Like that is there, it's just nice and damp, you know. I was watching Americans grow cucumbers and everything. You know, I spent quite a lot of time, you know, what am I doing wrong? I'd get so far with these cucumbers and then the leaves would start going rusty. And then they would turn white. These leaves would turn white. All these leaves turn white with like a fungus on them. And then they'd stop growing. They'd just stop growing and the cucumbers won't come out anymore, right? And it turned out it's like a condensation. Like if you spray any water on these leaves, that's what I only learnt it last week. I couldn't believe it when the guy said, you get any water on these leaves, right? That's what causes the wet on the leaves. It turns into a fungus and then it starts attacking the plant. So what you got to do is, hey up, what's this? That's a spud that. We want that in there. Anyway, right, what you got to do is you got to water these from the stem of the plant, cucumbers. Water them from here. Don't get water on your leaves because the heat and the moisture in the greenhouse is what causes the fungus on the leaves and that stops it from growing. And then you're just fighting a right old battle. So, again, I have got, look at these, you can see them under here, little buggers, brown, like brown aphids. So they've had a spray, I'm going to have to, there we go. I don't know if you can see them. So yeah, if you're watching the channel and you've got any ideas, apart from your natural bug spray, which some of you might like, some of you don't like, you know, some are not bothered. You know, I've grown chilies for years, I haven't really struggled with them, but look, as you can see on this plant here, it's starting to get holes in, so they're having a good old chow on that. Don't see any, I'll get them. So more chili plants here, so again, I think I go overboard on chilies, so but I've got a few. I've got some good friends in that like doing a lot of cooking. You know, and when these chilies get going, you know, I just give them out really. You know, I just give them the chilies. I just say, there you go, mate. Look, more chilies, peppers. I've got a feeling that big one at the back might be a pepper one because it's growing quite tall already. So. One or two of these, oh here we go, I'm going to have to be, one guy will certainly love this comment, he'll love this comment that much that he'll laugh for a week. Right, these plants I bought, right, I know, most of my stuff is done by seed, right, but these plants here I had to buy from Robinson's. They are, let me think, Robinson Seeds they're called, but they sell a lot of chili plants and everything. They'd be great. I've been going to Robinson's for years. You know, the ladies there are lovely, and the first thing they'll do is they'll never have an opinion, and all they've ever done is year after year is give me advice, tell me, you know, what's right, what's wrong, how to grow things best. And so this is a vampire chili plant. This will just come out with black chilies on it. Which one's this? Chili, I think it's Phileas something. Phileas Blue. Yeah, Phileas Blue. They are Phileas Blue chilies, so they'll come out little dark chilies. So again, more chili plants here. Again, let's see if I can show you an example. There, look at this. I don't know if you can see that. There's like brown aphids or flies or whatever. Hopefully they'll be gone. So more chilli plants down here. Again, is that another vampire? Yeah, a vampire, yeah. I just like it, like black chilies popping out of it. There we get, again, look at these here. Don't know if you can make them out on there. Little brown flies, brown aphids. Again. So yeah. So there you go. So, oh dear, I'm advertising. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so there's all my chilli plants in both greenhouses. Tomatoes are doing fine. It's early days yet. It's early days. So yeah, please, any suggestions about the apple and the pear tree? Rubbish bag, get that out of the way. Any tips on growing cucumbers you can give me, because I don't know everything. And I'm looking forward to the chilli plants coming out, so that'll be great. I'm going to end this video now. I'll do another one probably I'll do another video in a week or two. We'll see how these stand off. And again, like they all say, if you like it, and if you want to, subscribe to my channel. That's a bonus in itself, because then that just tells me that people are interested in growing and sharing ideas and helping each other out. So there you go, that's it from the allotment today. So see you again soon. Take care guys, bye bye.